I had been searching for a vintage camera on Facebook Marketplace for months when I finally came across a listing that caught my eye. The seller claimed to have a rare and fully functional camera from the 1970s, complete with its original packaging and accessories. Intrigued by the prospect of owning such a unique piece of photography history, I reached out to the seller to learn more. The seller responded promptly and seemed knowledgeable about the camera's features and history. They assured me that it was in excellent working condition and had been well preserved over the years. They even provided additional pictures of the camera, showcasing its pristine appearance and attention to detail. Excited about the opportunity, I agreed to meet the seller in person to see the camera firsthand. We arranged to meet in a public park on a sunny afternoon. As I approached the designated meeting spot, I couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. I had done my research and was well aware of the value and scarcity of the camera I was about to see. When I finally met the seller, they seemed friendly and trustworthy. They handed me the camera, and I eagerly inspected it. It looked exactly as described, with no visible signs of wear or damage. The vintage packaging added to its charm, and I couldn't wait to test it out. With excitement, I loaded a roll of film into the camera and attempted to take a few shots. However, to my disappointment, the camera wouldn't advance the film or activate the shutter. It was completely non-functional. I couldn't believe what was happening. I had been duped. I immediately confronted the seller, expressing my frustration and disappointment. They feigned surprise and claimed that the camera had been working perfectly just a few days ago. They even suggested that I had mishandled it. I realized then that I had fallen victim to a well-executed scam. As I tried to salvage the situation, the seller quickly retreated, disappearing into the crowd. I was left with a useless camera and a sense of regret for not being more cautious during the transaction. I had let my excitement cloud my judgment, and now I was paying the price. Reflecting on the experience, I realized that I should have been more diligent in my assessment of the camera's functionality. I should have requested to test it before finalizing the purchase, or asked for proof of its working condition. Additionally, I should have been more cautious when dealing with a seller who was offering such a valuable item without any guarantees or returns.
As a fashion enthusiast, I had always dreamt of owning a luxurious designer handbag. However, the hefty price tags associated with these coveted accessories seemed to be a barrier to fulfill my desire. That's when I stumbled upon a listing on Facebook Marketplace that promised a brand new designer bag at an unbelievably low price. My heart skipped a beat as I scrolled through the photos showcasing the exquisite craftsmanship and iconic logo of the bag. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to finally own a piece of luxury. Filled with excitement, I messaged the seller to inquire about the bag's authenticity and condition. To my surprise, they responded promptly, assuring me that it was a genuine designer bag and in pristine condition. They claimed that they had received it as a gift, but decided to sell it as they already had a similar one. Eager to seize this opportunity, I agreed to meet the seller in person to inspect the bag myself. As the day of the meeting arrived, a mix of anticipation and nervousness filled me. I wondered if the bag would live up to my expectations, or if it would turn out to be too good to be true. We agreed to meet in a bustling coffee shop, hoping that the public setting would deter any fraudulent activities. I arrived at the coffee shop and spotted the seller sitting at a corner table, holding a bag that matched the description. They smiled warmly as I approached, immediately putting me at ease. We engaged in small talk, discussing our mutual interest in fashion. The seller seemed friendly and genuine, further convincing me that this was indeed a legitimate transaction. With a sense of excitement and trepidation, I asked to inspect the bag. The seller graciously handed it over, allowing me to examine it closely. As I ran my fingers over the smooth leather, I couldn't help but admire the exquisite craftsmanship. The logo appeared to be perfectly aligned, and the stitching was neat and precise. It seemed like a dream come true. Convinced that I had found a hidden gem, I decided to make the purchase. I handed over the agreed-upon amount of cash, eagerly anticipating the moment when I would finally call this designer bag my own. The transaction was completed, and I left the coffee shop with a feeling of triumphant satisfaction. However, my excitement quickly turned into disappointment and disbelief as I examined the bag more closely at home. Upon closer inspection, it became apparent that this was not the genuine designer bag I had hoped for. The quality of the materials was subpar, and the stitching, upon further scrutiny, revealed uneven lines and loose threads. The logo, which had initially seemed flawless, now appeared slightly off-center and poorly embossed. A wave of anger and frustration washed over me as I realized that I had fallen victim to a counterfeit scam. The seller had skillfully deceived me, presenting a carefully crafted replica as an authentic designer bag. The price that seemed too good to be true now made sense. It was a reflection of the bag's counterfeit nature. Feeling violated and cheated, I immediately reached out to the seller, expressing my disappointment and demanding a refund. However, my attempts to contact them proved futile. They had vanished without a trace, leaving me with a counterfeit bag and a sense of betrayal. Determined not to let this experience go unnoticed, I reported the incident to Facebook, providing them with all the details of the fraudulent transaction. I also took to social media to share my story, warning others about the dangers of counterfeit goods on Facebook Marketplace. My hope was to prevent others from falling victim to similar scams and to encourage stricter verification processes on the platform. While I couldn't recover my money or obtain the designer bag I had longed for, this experience served as a valuable lesson. It reminded me of the importance of thoroughly researching sellers, asking for detailed information and documentation, and being vigilant when making purchases, especially when it comes to high-end luxury items. It also highlighted the need for consumers to educate themselves about the telltale signs of counterfeit products and to trust their instincts when something seems too good to be true. This true Facebook Marketplace horror story serves as a cautionary tale for anyone venturing into online marketplaces. It underscores the importance of exercising caution, conducting thorough inspections, and verifying the authenticity of items before making a purchase. By sharing my story, I hope to raise awareness about the risks associated with counterfeit goods and encourage others to be vigilant when engaging in online transactions.
I came across a unique piece of artwork as I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. I had a passion for collecting and wanted to add a one-of-a-kind piece to my growing collection. After scrolling through various listings, I stumbled upon one that caught my attention. The seller, Emily, claimed to have a mysterious and enchanting painting that was said to possess a supernatural power. Intrigued by the description, I reached out to Emily to inquire further. She responded promptly, sharing the intriguing story behind the painting. According to her, the artwork had been passed down through generations and was rumored to grant the desires of its owner. Eager to experience the magic for myself, I arranged to meet Emily at her secluded cottage to see the painting in person. As I made my way to the cottage, a sense of unease washed over me. The path leading to it was overgrown, and the atmosphere felt heavy with an otherworldly energy. Ignoring my apprehension, I pressed on, driven by curiosity and a longing for something extraordinary. Upon arriving at the cottage, I was greeted by Emily, a mysterious woman with an aura of mystique. She led me to a dimly lit room where the painting was displayed. It depicted a mesmerizing landscape, with vivid colors and intricate details that seemed to come alive. As I gazed upon the painting, a strange sensation washed over me. It was as if the artwork was beckoning me, whispering promises of fulfillment and power. Unable to resist its allure, I made the impulsive decision to purchase the painting, convinced that it held the key to unlocking my deepest desires. Little did I know, the enchantment of the painting came at a grave cost. As soon as I brought it home and hung it on my wall, strange occurrences began to unfold. Shadows danced in the corners of my vision, whispers echoed through the hallways, and objects moved on their own accord. Night after night, I found myself plagued by vivid and unsettling nightmares. The painting seemed to come alive in my dreams, its characters taunting me and tormenting my sleep. I became consumed by an overwhelming sense of dread and paranoia, unable to escape the grip of the supernatural forces that had been unleashed. Desperate to break free from the painting's curse, I sought the help of paranormal experts and spiritualists. They warned me of the dangerous entity that resided within the artwork, feeding off the desires of its owners and trapping them in a never-ending cycle of torment. Through a series of rituals and incantations, we attempted to sever the connection between the painting and myself. It was a harrowing and exhausting process, but eventually we succeeded in banishing the malevolent presence. The painting, now stripped of its dark magic, became nothing more than a haunting reminder of the horrors I had endured.